Hi everyone, Nick here, and with this video I wanted to talk about something very interesting, yet again coming from the Alien Covenant home release. So as you guys all know, most of Ridley Scott's films include an audio commentary track which you can listen along as you watch the film. He did this most famously with Prometheus, Gladiator, Alien, the original film. Pretty much, I think most of his films he actually does provide a commentary track. I think The Martian too, more recently, but it was long awaited for his Alien Covenant commentary because people had tons of questions and wanted some more clarity on certain things. Now, towards the end of the film, he does say something very interesting, which is the topic of this video, that apparently the Xenomorph in this film, or I guess possibly in all films, we're not really sure because it isn't made clear, is able to actually regrow its parts back together, making it indestructible. So during the sequence in which Tennessee comes to save Lope and Daniels at the Engineer Citadel, and the Xenomorph jumps on top of their lander and attacks Daniels, and they have this big fight sequence where basically she's sort of swinging around and then she ends up using the crane to crush it. Right during that sequence when he says that she crushes it with the crane, he says when the alien gets back to the ground it will DNA back to parts and regrow. He's indestructible, but he's done for them, they left him behind. So very interesting, like I don't think this has ever been really referenced in any of the Alien films thus far. The film that Ridley did back in 1979, we didn't actually see that alien get like torn apart or anything. It just sort of got shot out of the airlock and then it was incinerated inside of the thrusters on the Narcissus. So this is kind of confusing to me because I'm not sure if the Alien Covenant Xenomorph is going to be the be-all end-all Xenomorph, like that is it, that's the beast that we see in the other films, or if this is like an early strain of that will eventually evolve into the biomechanical creature that we know and love from the other films. Because when you actually look at it, the novelization does say that this is like an advanced hybrid version of the Xenomorph that David had created based off the existing material from the engineers, but we don't know if that's canon anymore or not. And it's kind of confusing too, because in Aliens, the 1986 film by Cameron, and in Alien Resurrection, when we see the Xenomorphs get killed in that film, they don't regrow their limbs or come back together. I mean, in the Cameron film, the aliens get blown apart by the pulse rifles and smart guns, but we don't see them like reassemble their parts or regrow or anything. I think that this could be chalked up to possibly these Xenomorphs having a direct link to the black goo or the pathogen substance that we saw was able to actually reform matter and life together, sort of like the Hammerpede, I guess, in Prometheus, although you could say that was just like a worm, so that's obvious why it would regrow its head when it got cut off. Adding a feature to the Xenomorph where it makes it virtually indestructible, where even if you crush it or blow it apart, the parts will eventually grow back together and sort of regenerate itself, like that seems very interesting to me. I know it's actually a concept that Ridley wanted to do for the original 1979 film, but it didn't make it to pass on screen in that one, so it is interesting if he's gonna sort of bring his ideas full circle from the original concept of the Xenomorph. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this personally. I mean, I guess it could make sense when you sort of say like, oh, this is because of the black goo injection and this is because it was made from that. It wasn't like a natural evolution or birth or anything. Maybe you could explain it that way, but it still seems a bit clunky and kind of weird to me if he's going to introduce like out there concepts like this. But I mean, it's not entirely like, oh, I don't like this at all. I mean, it's kind of cool. I actually do enjoy the fact that it makes the creature yet again much more like of a threat and a menace. I mean, even more so than it already is. Like I said, we don't know if this is going to be the actual Xenomorph that we see in the other films, or if this is just simply an early version that David had concocted. So leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you guys think about this? Are you for or against the Xenomorph being able to actually DNA its parts back together and regrow itself, making the creature an indestructible killing machine? Or are you against that concept? Drop all your thoughts down below. As always, thank you guys again for watching. My name is Nick, and for more on Alien Covenant and the Alien and Predator universe, subscribe to Hybrid Network.